Hey everyone! Today I want to tell you, I'll try to be quick, briefly, and in detail. How to catch perch in winter. So, ice fishing in winter. This video will be more useful for beginners because they are the ones going fishing and don't know how to do it. Perch, in winter, this is probably the easiest fishing. He is the easiest to catch. But you still need to know some nuances because there are a lot of different types of gear, starting with balancers, spinners, baits, jigs, bloodworms, and some artificial baits. There's a lot going on right now. We are out ice fishing this year, and it's really tough to find good ice. Wave your hand. Is the perch biting today? It's biting, you see. Everything is quite simple. First, I want to take you back to the basics, so to speak. What is perch? The perch is a predator that feeds on either small fish, some bleak, etc. Bleak, chubs, and little ones. Some other little roaches, that is, all the small ones, or some worms. He also really loves maggots, regular earthworms, and everything like that. But in winter, its preferences change. And he loves, as a rule, bloodworms or something like that. Less active, because in winter, all fish slow down. Their metabolism, the water is cold and the fish behave differently. But let's not get into that, so to speak. In short, everything you need to know. There's fishing with maggots, fishing with balancers, and what they call bombochka spoon balda. We'll go through these tackle options today. I gathered my winter tackle, not all of it is here, but let's start with the most optimal from the very beginning with the basics, which is the jig. Guys, there are a huge number of jigs out there. You know, you can just grab jigs and chew on them with any part of your body. Yes, as they say, light, heavy lead, tungsten. Of course, if you have the option to buy tungsten ones, they are more expensive. So in this case, I have two jigs that catch perch pretty well. My favorite jig, here it is, the ant, the little one, and the ball, the silver one and the copper ball. This ant jig comes in different varieties, so the copper ball can be either on top or at the bottom. I like it like that. This is my bream jig, the copper one. I use it to catch bream. Here I have a small fluorescent piece that glows a little at night. It absorbs light and gives off a reflection. In general, I want to tell you and reveal a big secret that perch can be caught on absolutely any jig. Absolutely on all of them, no matter what you have. Red, white, yellow. It's all colorful if you have a fresh and good bunch of maggots there, of course. If you have maggots, and they're good maggots, guys, just put them on the hook. It's very important. There are days when perch bite better if you put 2 maggots on the hook. There are days when 3-4 maggots on a bunch catch better. So give it a try. We usually arrive at the fishing spot and sit down. Kolya, how many bloodworms do you have now? 2 maggots on the jig, right? He has 2 maggots. He puts on 2, I put on 3 or 4. I like it when there are more because you start doing the wiring. Sometimes he knocks them off right away, but this way you still have something left and you can bring it in. This is fishing. It's delicate fishing where you get bites constantly. It's the best, and usually you get a bite with almost every cast. If there's perch in the hole you've made, you come in, make a hole like this. Here. Take any of your jigs, as I said, and put a maggot on it. It's the easiest thing to do. You don't need to overthink it. Not with the shapes of the light, not with the weight. When you're fishing in the river, you take something heavier, but when you're in real bodies of water or swamps, you might want something lighter so the fish aren't scared. But many people don't like to fish with bloodworms because you have to constantly get your hands out. It's kind of cold. You need bloodworms, and the guys need to clean the holes because the jig is light and might not fall through. The ice is thin now. We use an ice pick. An ice pick is necessary for safety to check the thickness of the ice, and it's easier to make holes. When you drill, you need to drill and clean the slush that forms here. Here's the jig. We're lowering it down, watching how it all goes. And down. For those who don't know how to assemble a winter fishing rod, how to choose a spring bobber, or how to select a jig, look above. Now it's going to be, in short, there will be a hint above. Watch the video. I filmed it. We're finding the bottom. How do we find it? Right now you can see the bobber is hanging bent. So it's not the bottom. We're increasing the depth, reeling in the line. That's it. The line is twitching. The jig is on the bottom, reeling in. Well, here, as a rule, you reel in how much? I don't know, maybe about 10 centimeters or maybe 5, just a bit lower. When it's really windy, you fish lower. When the wind is lighter, you fish higher. That's how fishermen operate. In short, we've cast to the bottom. A couple of taps on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. As a rule, they say that these taps on the bottom, the ones we make, provoke the perch. 1, 2, 3. And then with quick movements near the bottom, we start to pull it up a bit. A little lift up, so the perch is caught from the bottom up. As a rule, with this technique, I say again, we lowered it down. The jig is on the bottom. Yeah, we tapped a couple of times and then went with this quick retrieve. We don't do it slowly at all for a different kind of fish. So we started to jig it, right? We took it and jigged it as fast as we could. We're doing the retrieve here. And there's a little nuance about how high you should jig it. Terebenka often... And you should lift your hand very slowly so that the bait plays, Kolyan. Well, you're sitting there laughing now, but I'm telling the truth, right? You're speaking the truth. I can't hear you, not if it's true. The more often you jig, the more often you jig. The more often you jig, I have to tell it in a way that's interesting for you too. So you lift it, jigging often. If you jig like that, you won't get any bites. The retrieve should be interesting. So down to the bottom, you jig and lift it up. When you have any breakdown of the game, as they call it, that is as a rule, perch. Presses the knot a little, you immediately make a cut. You see this hole not working as a rule. Here they made a hole, they made it here, I don't know. 3 to 4 wiring. If the perch does not bite right away, leave, then make a hole somewhere else, because this is the tactics of fishing in winter. Guys, this is to find fish. You shouldn't stand on one hole and beg, give me fish. It's not all that different from life. So tell me, am I right? That's right. You shouldn't be in a rush. That's right. If a hole doesn't produce fish, you just pack up and go to another hole, guys. But here, of course, yes, all the conditions matter. If you have the right tackle and bait, perch usually bites on maggots. It's just like showing up in your friend's Jeep. It should always work. That's the same thing. You show up in your friend's Jeep, and it should always catch fish. So, maggots and jigs, you could say. My friend's Jeep pulled up, and right away I saw it, and the fish bit. Look at that. Ha ha ha, that's right. Kolya speaks flawlessly, perfectly. This is what I told you about at the end. I will tell you the tactics quickly. How to look for the second gear, the well-known jig. This is what it looks like. How to make it. I have told you more than once. So this is an artificial bait with a weight here and artificial hooks. We fish with it just like that, casting it right into this hole here. And the boulder with 3 hooks catches perch really well. 3 artificial hooks, what could be better? Yeah, we cast it out and found the bottom. We slightly twitch the tip and then boom, we hit the bottom. Right? You feel a little bump. The line is loose and then we pull it in a bit. It shouldn't be bouncing like this. This bead here you see is jumping, which means the boulder is not correctly suspended. The boulder should fall freely to the bottom, then we pull it up a bit off the bottom, and there should be a pause on the bottom for a few seconds. Up to 5. Well, exactly. 3 and 5, you should do it differently. Yes, that's how you should do it. The tactic is exactly the same. At first, just tap it. And then it went for you. Usually it's better to catch fish with this boulder than with a jig. What? Is it biting worse? Well, usually small perch don't bite, although not always. If there are a lot of them, they'll bite on anything. And on the balancer and on the boulder, believe me. So, when he pulled it again... Oh, really? Is there a perch? She says she stuffed herself. Here. And you're fishing with the boulder? What's great about the boulder or the bomb? You don't need to break any ice crust. So you're drilling with the auger. Which one? This ice is formed after the bura. You took it and started chiseling. In the same way, my friends, and I will call for you balance beam, chick balance beam. Checks are different. They come in absolutely different colors, sizes, forms, without pages, with teeth. Right now, I have a natural balancer with a light green treble hook, and there will be red ones. Some say it bites better on this, but fishing with a balancer is different from fishing with a boulder. With a balancer, you fish in the water column. Although, you can do it differently. You can have 2 hooks on the sides, and we drop the treble hook like this to the bottom. We found the bottom for sure. We'll also reel in the slack. Usually it's great to fish with a balancer too, because you can fish while standing. You don't have to clean anything. As I said, you drop it, find the bottom, lift it up by 1 centimeter. There, my friends, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 centimeters with such blows. Once, 2. You can make 3 pauses, throw it up, wait, in short, make a throw, wait, and then we can lift it even higher. Yeah, go up higher. That is, you catch it in the water column. The balancer is for the fish. This is it. When we would show you now, somehow. Right now it's not visible, but you can see it. Oh, you can see how it jumps. It jumps interestingly and takes its place because of that. This one, thanks to this tail that is behind it, it flies here and there, and this provokes the fish. It doesn't bite right away, but you can use a larger balancer, and maybe even a pike will bite, and other predatory fish. But in our area, it's really difficult. Basically, a small balancer like mine, which is 4-timi, yes, there are also 3-timi. And you just hammer away at them. So basically, that's the basics of catching perch. You understood about the mormishka, about the balancer, and you got this stuff too. Now I'll try to tell you about the fishing tactics. In no case do we stand on one hole, do not get fixated. If the hole is bad, I said a couple of times here and there, and in short, that's it. It's like in that joke, Nikolai. Listen, here's a joke. In short, this is the one. You could say, and you could say, two ladies meet and one says, so, how's your personal life? How are things going? All good or not? She replies, yeah, like everything's fine. How about your husband? Is everything good at night? The other one says, well, I had it twice a night. And the first one goes, what about you? She says, 15 times a night. You got that? 15 times a night. So they're chatting away, having a drink. She says, so how do you manage 2 times? Well, like in the morning and in the evening. And how do you manage 15 times a night? That's Sean for you. Wow, what a guy. Well, yeah, 15 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. Just like you. Look, there's this interesting tactic. A method for finding perch called chamomile. So with chamomile, for some reason, either in a semicircle or however you prefer to search, in short, you go out to the water body and make the distance between the holes however you like. But you drill them in this shape. Look, you go like this. You could say in an 8 shape. With the figure 8, you're in the center right here. By the way, you can also do it based on the hole. Well, today we have everything listened to. Something else still needs to be drawn. It's just that somehow for me, yes, there are some of these same ones, okay. Here you are. In the center, you will be in the hole. Here in the center, if something pecks off you guys. Here in the center, great. So, you take out this hole, take out the fish, and throw it near the hole. Here, well, there is Okun. Yes, let's go with a bomb. Let's say you play. Yes, don't clean sugar. Then, do the figure 8 here. Here, here, here. And go around the whole figure 8. Move on. You scout around, and then you start drilling in the center. We made a couple of holes. Why is it so? If you look for perch in straight lines, line there, you have these differences in the depth of the hole. Well, you won't really feel if you're going the right way. If you just go straight like this, you won't understand where the perch is located. You might end up in places where there aren't any fish. If you just go straight, you might miss spots where the perch actually is. If you are an 8, then you will feel all these holes and loopholes everywhere for perch. I'm sure you'll like it. You'll definitely find fish if you search this way. Well, this is the simplest method, or you can just take a circular route to cover the area. Yes, so as not to have a straight line, as I said, because you might not find a straight line, some kind of rapids and everything else. That's all. Basically, what I wanted to tell you about catching perch. If you have any questions, ask me. I hope I told it in an interesting, useful, accessible way. And with a little humor, of course, that's it. Let it catch, let it bite. Subscribe to the channel, like it. And we wish Nikolai a great catch on his next fishing trips. Right. Here, everything's great. Watch, my fishing rod. Now I have it completely here. The jig is on the bottom. I'm reeling it in a bit. I'm applying tension like this. I tapped a bit and went with this kind of play. Anytime the game is interrupted, where the tip of the rod dips down, we'll immediately set the hook. Up, 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 I'm lifting it. You see, I'm playing with it often. I'm lifting it slowly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and let's get into the game. Got it. It's already biting. Well, I don't know how not to kiss him. Such a small one. And how he really swallowed it whole. The jig goes there. Here it is. Yeah. This is not the Caspian Sea for you. See you later, bro. So it's all very simple.